A few years ago, I met a man in his late 70s who was, without a doubt, the happiest person in the room. He wasn't the richest, he wasn't the healthiest. He'd had his share of hard knocks, loss, illness, the usual weather of a long life. And yet he glowed with a kind of contentment that everyone around him could feel. I couldn't stop wondering, what does he know that the rest of us don't? So I started paying attention. To him, and to people like him, the ones who reach their retirement years genuinely happy, not just comfortable, but fulfilled. And here's what I found. It wasn't luck, and it wasn't mainly money. The happiest retirees tend to do the same handful of things differently. Today, I'll share 6 of them with you, because everyone is something you can choose, starting now. I'm not a doctor or a financial advisor, just someone who spent a lot of time learning what actually makes these years rich and meaningful, and bringing it to you straight. If that's the kind of thing you want more of, stick around and subscribe a little later. For now, let's get into the 6. The first thing the happiest retirees do differently is they keep a sense of purpose and a reason to get up in the morning. Here's a trap that catches so many people. They spend their whole working lives dreaming of doing nothing, and then they retire into exactly that, nothing, and find themselves restless, low, and adrift. The happiest retirees don't retire from purpose. They retire towards something, a passion, a project, a cause, a role, volunteering, mentoring, a craft, a garden, grandchildren. They wake up with something to do and someone who needs them. The lesson? Don't just retire from work. Retire toward a purpose and protect it like treasure, because meaning is the soil that happiness grows in. The second thing they do differently is they invest in relationships deliberately. The happiest retirees are rich in connection, not necessarily in a huge social circle, but in a few deep, warm, well-tended relationships. They make the effort, the phone calls, the visits, the gatherings, the reaching out. They know that the work friendships that once filled their days won't replace themselves, so they actively build and nurture new and old bonds. The lesson: treat your relationships as the true wealth of these years, and tend them with real intention, because no amount of money buys what a loving connection gives. The third thing they do differently is they keep moving and keep learning, body and mind. The happiest retirees rarely sit still and let life happen to them. They stay physically active, walking, gardening, swimming, whatever they enjoy, and they stay mentally curious, learning, reading, taking up new hobbies, trying things they never had time for before. They treat retirement not as the end of growth, but as the beginning of a whole new chapter of it. The lesson: keep your body moving and your mind curious, because a person who keeps growing stays young in all the ways that matter. If you're nodding along, this is the moment. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and let me give you the final 3, because they're the ones people least expect. The fourth thing they do differently is they give back. Here's something that surprises people. The happiest retirees are often the most generous with their time and care. They volunteer, they mentor, they help neighbors, they contribute to something larger than themselves, and it turns out that giving to others is one of the most reliable sources of happiness there is. It lifts the giver as much as the receiver. The lesson: find a way to be useful to others, because a life poured out in service to something beyond yourself is a deeply happy one. The fifth thing they do differently is they make peace with money, whatever they have. Now this one is important, and it's not about being wealthy. The happiest retirees are often not the ones with the most money, they're the ones who have made peace with what they have. They live within their means, they stop comparing themselves to others, and they spend on what truly matters to them: experiences, people, purpose, rather than chasing more for its own sake. Money worries are real, and I don't dismiss them, but constant comparison and chasing steal joy. The lesson: make peace with your means, spend on what matters, and stop measuring your life against anyone else's. And the sixth thing they do differently is they embrace change instead of fearing it, and they practice gratitude. The happiest retirees don't cling white-knuckled to the way things used to be. They stay open, They try new things, they adapt, they say yes. And running through all of it is a habit of gratitude, a daily noticing of what's good, a focus on what they still have rather than what they've lost. The lesson: stay open to new chapters and practice gratitude on purpose, because a grateful heart and an open mind turn ordinary days into rich ones. So there are the 6 things the happiest retirees do differently. They live with purpose. They invest deeply in relationships. They keep moving and learning. They give back. They make peace with money. And they embrace change with a grateful heart. Read back over that list and notice what isn't on it: a big bank account, perfect health, a fancy lifestyle. The happiest retirees aren't the luckiest or the wealthiest. They're the ones who choose again and again to live with purpose, connection, and gratitude. And that's the most hopeful truth of all, because every single one of these 6 is a choice available to you right now, no matter your health, your bank balance, or your circumstances. Happiness in these years isn't something that happens to the lucky few. It's something you build one choice at a time. Now I'd love to hear from you. Of these 6, which one do you feel you're already living well, and which one would you like to grow? Tell me in the comments. And if you know someone who's aged into a genuinely happy life, tell me what you think their secret is. I'd love to hear it. One gentle note before we close. This video is for encouragement and general reflection, not personal medical, mental health, or financial advice. If you're struggling with low mood, loneliness, or money worries, please reach out for support to a trusted person, your doctor, or a professional, because help truly makes a difference. These years can be some of the very best of your life, not by accident, but by choice. Choose purpose, choose connection, choose gratitude, and build yourself a retirement that's rich in all the ways that truly matter. I'll see you in the next video.